Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah.
Back at it like a good habit, man. What's up? Stuff look a little different, don't it? Just a little
All right,
bit
guys.
different. Just a little bit different.
You
Just a
said
little
it,
bit
so we
different.
heard you, and we're setting our new setup has arrived. So let us know what you're thinking, how we sound, Crystal.
Crystal.
What you think of part of the new setup? We're, adding piece by piece. So
Piece
yeah,
by piece.
I really like this.
I do too.
I really, really like this.
So, I was looking at this. I've been going down this Jordan Peterson rabbit hole.
Okay.
So it's got like a whole rabbit hole of stuff that's out there that it just existed on the internet that I never knew. So if I'm not mistaken, I got this video with this girl. She was big in the news at one time. Her name was Greta Thunberg, and she was like some kind of, if I'm not mistaken, if this is the same little girl who they were like, give it all to Greta. Greta is so brave. She's traveling around, and I think we did something on her, and she was like, and we were kind of like, where are the parents? This girl is so brave for doing what?
Oh, is she the girl that was on the boat that was sailing around the world?
I think that's
or something
her.
like that. She was on a boat by herself.
Yeah, I think that's her. I think that's her. And I was wondering, so this title says, what Greta Thunberg does not understand.
Telling myself you wrong for that.
What?
Thinking about now, how many kids gonna want to be on a boat sailing around the middle of the world by themselves? Because I think that's what was going on with her.
Yeah, but it was weird though. It's like
cause or something. I don't remember.
It was like, power to Greta. Don't say anything wrong about her. She was like in the magazine. I think this is the little girl. Because why would it matter them doing that, a conflict with Jordan Peterson? Why would there be something with Jordan Peterson if she wasn't some kind of little name?
Yeah, let's go. Let's see.
So it says, what Greta Thunberg does not understand about climate change. Jordan Peterson. So.
There you go.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean.
Yes,
yeah,
she
that
is a girl.
You all come to us young people for hope.
Why she sound like that?
How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones.
Okay.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the...
Why does she look constipated, and did somebody write this for her?
But...
And what's the point? Why did she matter? I'm sorry, I don't care what nobody said. What was her relevancy? Because she was like, I didn't start hearing about it until we were doing YouTube. I mean, we were like reacting to something else.
But how were her dreams stolen when this was a choice that she decided to take based off of whatever the thing is that she was working on? Or she wanted to, I just remember it vaguely being she was in a boat, and I think she was sailing around the world, and she was doing this by herself. And I don't know what the cause was for or what initiated this.
Yeah.
But I just remember that. Because it was like,
details.
how many kids, like I said, are going to be traveling on a boat by themselves across the globe.
Because that's what it's saying. Where are Greta's parents?
When she should be in school. Okay, yeah, but how did you get the boat? How did you start to sail, on the water? So who's still, I don't get it. Who's stealing your dreams? And people are dying all over the world, but that's,
The fishes are in the ocean.
I don't get it.
California's going to fall in the water. The submarines are going to blow up.
Stop
Tornadoes
it.
are just
Okay,
going to
let's
freeze,
go. Let's
come
give
everywhere.
Let's give it a chance.
Beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
So I was wondering whether you thought climate change could be an issue that could unite...
Why does it matter from a little girl's opinion? She didn't hear her growth spurt yet.
all on left and right, moving us beyond debates about C16 to discussions at the UN
Look
at
at the man in the
Katowice
front
next
row.
month, where perhaps humanity might
they're holding
finally
this here?
discover its global map.
He thinking
of
like you.
meaning.
Why do we care?
No.
Why do I care?
I mean, there's a couple of reasons. I mean, the first reason is that I spent a lot of time reading. I worked for a UN committee for 2 years on sustainable economic and ecological development, and read a very large amount during that period of time, and learned a lot, much of which made me much more optimistic than I had been before I read the relevant literature, which was a real shock to me. But the climate change issue is an absolutely catastrophic, nightmarish mess, and the idea that that will unite us is that's not going to unite us. I mean, first of all, it's very difficult to separate the science from the politics, and second, even if the claims, the more radical claims, are true, we have no idea what to do about it. And so, no. And besides, it's even worse than that. Here's one of the worst things about the whole mess is, so as you project outwards with regards to your climate change projections, which are quite unreliable to begin with, and the unreliability of the measurement magnifies as you move forward in time, obviously, because the errors accumulate. And so if you go out 50 years, the error bars around the projections are already so wide that we won't be able to measure the positive or negative effects of anything we do right now. So how in the world are you going to solve a problem when you can't even measure the consequence of your actions?
Wow.
How is that even possible?
Right.
And besides that, well, what's the solution? What are we going to do? Switch to wind and solar? Well, good luck with that. Just try it, see what happens. We can't store the power. Germany tried it. They produced more carbon dioxide than they did when they started because they had to turn on their coal-fired plants again. That wasn't a very good plan.
Look
But
at
we
him.
don't want nuclear. It's like, okay, what happens at night? Huh,
He was looking like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Right.
goes down. Well, isn't that something we should have taken into account? Oh, we got to flip on the coal-fired plants. Well, so it was a complete catastrophe, and all that happened was the price of electricity shot up. There's like zero utility. So that's not a solution. So what are we going to do about it? Well, we should cut back. We can't consume as much as we are all consuming. It's like, well, maybe, except the data that I've read indicate that if you can get the GDP of people up to about $5,000 a year, then they start caring about the environment, and the environment cleans up. So you could make a perfectly strong case, I think, and a reasonable one, perhaps even a humane one, that the actual idea would be to get everybody in the world who's poor, desperately so, out of poverty as fast as possible, which would increase consumption in the short term, because then they'd start to care about the environment and things would clean up. It's like, okay, well, what are we going to do about global warming? Well, good luck figuring that out. I don't see a solution on the horizon. I look at Bjorn Lomborg's work. I really like Bjorn Lomborg. I think he's a real genius. You can look him up if you want. He took the UN millennial goals. There's 200 of them. That's way too many goals if you're serious about goals, by the way, because 200 goals isn't a plan. It's a wish list. You have to prioritize. I'm serious. You have to prioritize. But they won't prioritize because each of the goals has its constituents. And if you prioritize, then you irritate the constituents. But if you don't prioritize, then you can't implement the plan. So what Lomborg did was gather a teams of economists, multiple teams, some of whom were Nobel Prize.
Okay, where is Greta, and is she on stage with him, or is this a video?
I think they just took her clip, and then now Jordan Peter has given an answer to it, but she's not. This probably they could have been at different years, different times.
Because I was like, where is she, and then what's going to be her response to
First
this
of all,
long
it is no
he's
way.
given?
It's no way. It's no way that I couldn't imagine him trying to talk to her, because he's gonna already shut it down with your child.
Right.
So, you know.
Okay.
At first, that's what I was
pull
thinking.
Your thing up.
At first, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking like when she said what she said and everybody was clapping and they started asking questions, I was like, why they asking her questions? Like, what she like 9? Why they asking her question? It made me think about back when Dave Chappelle, when Katrina, it might have been when Katrina was going on, and the Daily Show, was like, now let's go in there. Let's hear what Ja Rule has to say about Katrina, or 9/11 was one of them. And then Dave Chappelle said, Ja Rule? Who cares what Ja Rule? That's what I feel about that with the little girl on that.
Right.
What is her opinion?
Yeah.
Is she the smartest?
Why does it
person
even matter? Yeah.
Winning economists. He had them assemble teams. He had them rank order development goals in terms of their return on investment, all of the teams. Then he averaged across the teams and came up with a final list. And addressing global warming wasn't even on the list. The most fundamental, he wrote a book called How to Spend $75 Billion to Make the World a Better Place, and that's not very much money on a global scale. Almost everything that he recommended had to do with increased child nutrition in developing countries. It's like, these things are complicated, man. These are complicated. It's like, well, let's fix global warming. It's like, okay, well, good luck with that. First of all, how are you going to do that? And to think that will unite us, well, certainly not uniting us so far. So, no. And it's the kind of low-resolution thinking that just gets us absolutely nowhere. I like what Lomborg did way better. I think it's way more intelligent. So, maybe if you increase child nutrition enough and you produce another, 10 million geniuses as a consequence of that, and maybe one of them will figure out what to do about global warming. Well, I'm serious about that, It's not a bad thing to increase the total sum of human brain power, And so we treat these things so lightly. Well, let's fix the planet. Well, we're going to concentrate on global warming. Well, why global warming? Well, because everyone thinks that's the biggest catastrophe. Well, maybe it is, but if you don't have a solution, well, and then what about all those other problems? What are you going to do about them? Well, we'll ignore them because we can feel good about, being concerned about global warming. It's like, one of the reasons there's more trees in the Northern Hemisphere than there were 100 years ago. No one knows that, but it's true, and by a substantial margin. You know why, in part? Because people burned coal instead of wood. It's like everyone says, well, we shouldn't burn coal. It's like, okay, fair enough. What do you want to do? Burn trees instead? Because that's what poor people would have done. It's like, coal isn't good. Well, it's better than burning wood. So these things are complicated. Mm-hmm. So they're unbelievably complicated. And so, no, it's not going to unite us. And we're not going to do a damn thing about it either. So it doesn't really matter. So...
Done, Lemon.
Move on to the next question.
You're going to stop having heat? You're going to stop having electricity?
Right.
You're going to stop driving your cars? You're going to stop taking trains? It's like, you're going to stop using your iPhones? You're not going to do any of that. And no wonder. So, no.
Carry on. Move on to the next question.
So,
wow.
He is absolutely correct. That's why I like it keeping it, how he keeps it really frank. Because...
Do you want to keep your headphones on still?
I can take them off. I can take them off. I'm too excited about this little setup here, this big setup. So, he absolutely right. Man, we always talk about, well, it's the climate control, but you're not going to do anything about it. And the people that I saw, like Don Lemon, so what you going to do about that big old house that you have, and the cars you drive? Get out of that bull thinking that's going to solve, like he said, it may solve a thing, but when? At whose lifetime?
Yeah, climate change, environmental challenges, problems are like the movies we actually see. Mm-hmm. Really, it's that complicated. And then, like he says, the further out you try to project, it's going to be even a greater disparity because you really can't predict the climate, even though, they forecast, the weather, all that. And they can be very, pretty spot on many times, but it's not 100%. So I get where he's going, even though, that's what scientists do. That's what they're trained to do. They have all this advanced technology now to be able to better predict things and have a better knowledge of when things may happen, but that's just
I feel like that topic is a waste. We're wasting too much time. The world wastes too much time on that topic. There's so many other things that we need to be focused on, and and they spend a lot of money on that global climate change to say, I don't know, man. I believe personally. I feel like they taking that resources. They got some special unit at the White House or in Nevada or somewhere in the desert where they're able to put stuff to control, make stuff do stuff. But I don't think that's what the focus is. There's so many other things we need to focus on right now.
I get it, and I agree. However, on the other side, you know, how else are you going to be able to combat things as, you know, life continues to
Come.
Yeah. As people, so I mean, they won't be able to wait until the time to be ready ain't the time to get ready.
That's why he said if we can feed these children, get these families up, make more children, and one of these children, or one of those children that we feed and grow up and will discover this, or they'll make family members, or somebody make a child that will come and discover this solution for this. But he says it's not in our lifetime, unless you got Tony Stark to go fly in the water and then put the arc thing in there. Say now we got power from the water now, you know. So I mean, what?
You're right.
So
Get it.
All right.
Such a broad topic.
It is. But like, comment, subscribe. Don't take a nosedive, but comment down in the section below if you want some more.
What's going on, y'all? I'm just really liking the new setup. It's
Me
something
too.
different. It's a change. And it's been like, change is so good. It really, really is. If you're staying the same, if you're not doing anything different, and years have gone by, it is time to reflect and make a switch. Growth, no plant stays the same. If it doesn't grow, then it's dying.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to feel like I need to say that. I don't know why. That's for somebody out there.
And we'll still keep making changes to our setup until we get it perfect.
Most definitely.
But right now,
in the next spot, it's going to be even different.
and even our next spot.
Yeah, so hey, but this is nice. I like it.
Look, I ain't got the mic in my hand no more, so y'all can't say nothing about it. So I hope this sound good
and
coming
all
through.
All of that fumbling, and so hopefully this is crystal and you guys are liking the sound. Love you.